All right, guys. Thanks for coming out. I want to thank Prep Sports Plus for having us. This is the first media day that we get. It's exciting times. So we're going to kind of talk to you a little bit about your season. First question is going to go up to Coach Lokank. Okay, you're entering your 5th season as the head coach. You are the 3rd head coach in this program's short history. Can you tell us what inspired you to be a head coach?
Being a 3rd generation high school football coach, growing up, as a ball boy, through elementary school, the inspiration probably came from, my grandfather, my father, then coaches I had growing up. Guy to the left of me coached me, and all those coaches that inspired me as a kid and changed my life is the reason why I want to pursue myself.
Excellent. Sarah?
Luke, you've had to endure some challenging times in your short year. You've had to deal with COVID years, transitioning from 5A to 7A program, but still maintain a very successful program. How do you handle all of this, and what do you contribute to having success you've had in such a short time?
All the success comes from the people around you. All the success comes from the people around you. Unbelievable coaching staff. I couldn't do anything that we do as a program without them. Then obviously the players. We have some of the greatest people on our team, I would say. They come from great families, great community support, and that's the reason why this program is successful.
Can you talk about the future and what returning players you have coming back this season that you're excited about?
Well, 2 guys up here are 2 returning captains. We're excited about, and the group in general has a lot of guys coming back, a lot of players coming back. Austin and Nate are 2 of them, but defensively, 2 inside linebackers, Josh Feldman and Johnny Ramos, are leading that group. Offensive line-wise, Joey Segovich and Riley Claros is leading that group, and we do have a lot of depth behind those guys that is going to push us even farther.
Do you have any position groups that you're excited about that are emerging? Some younger players maybe that need to take a big step this year, ascend within the position group?
Going into every season, you try to piece together each position group to fit the best of the team, and a lot of growth we've seen this summer has been with the offensive line group. As a defense in general, all 3 phases of that group gel together, and we're really impressed with that growth also.
Luke, last year you lost in the quarterfinal game versus the 7A state runner-up Downers Grove North. Can you tell us what type of impact that game has had on your program?
The impact comes from, you made it to middle of November playing on Saturday. You made it to quarterfinals, and you lost. But it sets a foundation of the next year's group. Okay, this is how hard we have to work to get there. Then to win that game, we have to work harder and fix the things that we made mistakes on. Okay, what did we do wrong in the offseason? What did we do wrong in the summer? How can we adjust to that so we can win those games in late November?
Luke, what are you most excited about this year? Can you give us a few examples of what you've done in the off season?
Yeah, what I'm probably most excited for is, how this group from seniors to juniors to sophomores, how they gel together. There's no separation amongst this group. It seems like it's 66 kids who hang out every day when you walk on the practice field. And when you have groups like that, that's when this team can do something special because they love being around each other.
Thanks, Luke. The next question they're going to go towards your offensive coordinator, Dave Ernst. Dave, you've been coaching for the past 40 years. You were part of the historical Providence run in the 90s. You went to Lincoln Way Central. You coached at Central in the early 2000s. Then came to West when we opened in 2009. You've made such a positive impact on so many kids and have mentored so many young coaches throughout your career, and especially in our district. What keeps you coaching, and what made you pick West to finish your teaching and coaching career?
What keeps me coaching is the players. I'm probably not the most adjusted guy in the world. I have very few interests. And being around the guys, players, the coaches, it's probably the only time I'm really happy. So it's the best part of my life, my players and all that. I love the guys, and they keep me going. The pressure I feel is I don't want to let them down. So I make sure that, I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure they're as prepared as they possibly can be. So they keep me young. I don't even, as far as keeping going, I'll do it for forever. Second part of the question was,
I think you hit it. I think we're gonna, the next part would be, you and Luke have been together through thick and thin. And just talk a little bit about, you were the head coach previously. You kind of turned over the door to Luke. How was that transition?
it's been great. We were talking at the start of the season. I think it's our 18th year together. As far as me being a coach, with Luke being a player, and then us coaching together as assistants for Rob Galimi, and then me being the head coach and Luke being my defensive coordinator. Now Luke's the head coach and I'm the offensive coordinator. So it's been a long time that we've been together. So it's been close to 20 years since we haven't, been a part of the same system. So it's been great. I don't really feel like there was even any kind of a transition. We just kept going, and it's been a great 18 years.
Dave, you were the first West head football coach to take a team down to state in 2015. You've been considered an offensive guru by many of your colleagues. Can you tell us a little bit about your online this year? O-line. Sorry. O-line. I'm like, that does not sound right. Do you think this year we are more of a power gap scheme or more finesse inside outside zone team?
Wow, that's an impressive question. As far as guru, I don't even know what it means, and I definitely can't spell it. But we adjust to whatever we have, we're going to be in a lot of different personnel groups this year because the receivers are so talented. We've been traditionally power, counter, and a play called duo. It's a gap scheme without a polar. And we've got smart guys that are tough. They can handle a lot of different fronts and a lot of changes. So it's basically going to, up front, the whole line's going to revolve around their brain power and our ability to make different changes during a game that I don't think many high schools can do. It's because of the players and their intelligence. We've got a right tackle that's as smart as anybody, Riley, and last year as a center, as a sophomore, he was making all the protection calls and making a lot of the different checks. And I think if you looked at the O-line and put together their GPAs, we probably average around 3.8, 3.9, something like that up front. So.
Coach, you touched on it a little bit there with your receivers, but you have a lot of skills for us this year. How does that change, or how does you just mentioned how do you adapt to your personnel? How does that change your personnel, change your scheming at all, your plans? What do you think?
Well, I think if anybody has watched us over the last couple of years, we weren't in very much 10 personnel, which is 4 wide receivers. This year we'll probably be in it quite a bit. And that changes some of the run game too. What plays you can run when you don't have a fullback and a tight end. You're running more read plays, things like that. So it'll force teams, I think, into playing more too high coverages, things like that, or the skilled guys that we have. You're going to be in a situation where there's some mismatches on our end. So they really help us spread people out and create a lighter box, less linebackers and defensive linemen inside defending the run.
Dave, you've been such a loyal coach to the West program. You've been contacted often to seek other opportunities, but have remained loyal. What keeps you so loyal to this program? Thank you, Dave. One last question. Word on the street is that you're an eligible contestant for the Golden Bachelor Season 2. Is this true?
I think I know who will. I don't know. Right now it's football season, and I'm probably
Next question.
probably not a good
No comment,
situation
no
for
comment.
anybody right now with me.
So, Dave, the big question was, out of that, which is good, is you kept it loyal to this program. What made you keep that loyalty? Where did that come from? And, you know, you've been here since 2009. You've had opportunities to leave. You chose no. You said no to others. What was the number one reason for that?
Players. We've been unbelievably fortunate here with the quality of human beings we have on the team, and even just being in this room, the wrestling room, a place of honor, and it's a great place. The guys you work with and the women you work with, fantastic. But the most important thing is the players. It's just always been, we've always had great groups of guys. I've always really enjoyed being around them. Best part of my day.
We definitely appreciate your loyalty here. You've done a lot of good things. Luke, you've continued that successful program that we've had. I'm going to turn it over. Luke, can you introduce and talk a little bit about Nate and the defense?
Nate Elsner here, returning defense starter, returning captain, and we're fortunate to have multiple leaders like him on that group, and we're excited about their growth and development and what they can become this year. And it starts up front, with the defensive line, a couple returners on that defense, Olin King. Then the linebacker group with, Nate is a returner playing linebacker and defensive end. Josh Feldman and Johnny Ramos are two returners in the linebacker group. Then Ryan Stiglick and Jackson Mansker are returners in the secondary. So we're kind of that core that had that experience to bring the younger guys along, and teach them the speed of varsity football. So we're excited for that group.
And Nate, who are your athletic inspirations, mentors, or players you model your game after?
I would go with my dad. He's been coaching me ever since I started playing, and he's just someone I always looked up to. Just the way he played. I remember watching his film when he was in high school. My uncle was talking about him, and that's how I fell in love with the sport, just watching him play.
Nate, what is the most memorable play or moment from previous years?
I'd say the most memorable moment was playing Central last year. Big overtime win. It was just 4th down, overtime. They're on 10 yards to score, and it's kind of game on the line. It's probably the most memorable moment. Looking up, seeing the whole community. It was a fun night for everybody.
Sure. What have you done in the last 3-4 months that's going to make you better this year than you were last year as an individual that obviously would help the team if you were?
I don't think it's just me individually. I think everybody's just been in the weight room, going out to the field, doing everything they could. There was times where we were off on, we didn't have any camp, and there was guys always texting me, go to the field, go to the gym. So we've all been eager to get on the field, just better our craft.
I have another question about, do you feel like, do you have more confidence, same confidence, less confidence in your defense this year when you guys walk on the field?
Yeah, I have way more confidence. I think everybody's on the same page on that defense. And I think the biggest thing is just having trust in the players. I trust Johnny to give the right calls. and I trust Josh to make those big plays, and I trust our secondary to stop the big play, and our D-line. I trust them to put the pressure, and I think everybody feels the same way about that.
As a varsity player.
How many years have you been on varsity?
I've been on varsity for 2 years. This is going to be my second year.
Same here.
And then, this is my last one, Nate. Do you feel like you put yourself in a position to be able to play beyond high school?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it just comes down to my love for the sport. You know, I love football, and I just think that if I really want to pursue it, I can, and I feel like anybody can feel that way. It's just if you love the sport, you definitely can play at the next level, and that's really what it comes down to, is just how bad you want to play.
Nate, you're a second-year captain. You know, it's a great honor. Can you talk to us? Is there a lot of pressure to that? How do you accept it? What do you feel your best character role model is for that?
You know, at first, I remember last year being named captain. It was a little nerve-wracking, but you know, I just remember like I was put in that situation for a reason. Like I know I can handle that role, and it's definitely it helps when your guys believe in you. It's a lot easier. Like I'm the captain, but I also got 10 other captains on the team that you know I can look to, I can turn to. Just great leaders all around, and it just makes it easier when you're not the only one that people are looking up to.
Awesome job, Nate. Dave, can you talk to us a little bit about Austin and his offensive side? I know he's been a 2-year player for you.
Well, first, and I think most importantly, is the kind of person he is. As far as his leadership style, he's unafraid of, you know, he loves everybody so much, he's unafraid of calling you out if you're doing something that's not productive. I have to walk a different route to my class because I've got a little bit of a Dr. Pepper addiction, and if he sees me with a can of Dr. Pepper, he's going to call me out. And on Friday, I was behind him, I didn't think he saw me. I opened the can here, and he turns around, and he starts walking towards me. It's not good for you. But hopefully I'm still around. He should be president of the United States. Intelligent, great leader. You know, more importantly than the kind of player he is, just kind of human being he is. Smart, tough, charismatic, hardworking, and just a great person. You know, yeah, this will be our 3rd year together, and you know, he's one of those guys that always comes through and his numbers call too.
Austin, you've had a tough upbringing a little bit, and you know, what has football meant to you? How has football helped you shape who you are today?
Football has been there since the day the season ended last year. It's something that I can always turn to. I think that our last game was in November, and the day after the game we were on the field again scheming for this year. It's something that, it's a gorgeous sport. I love being there, I love playing it. It's something that there's always something you can add on to your game, which is what I love about it.
And who are your athletic inspiration, mentors, or players you model your game after?
I think the coaching staff is a big one for me. You know, hearing stories about Coach Ernst and Coach Bill at St. Joe's or Coach Zyke, I think that it really motivates me. Seeing how these two have been together for the last 20 years is also a big factor. Hopefully one day, you know, me and some teammates can eventually follow that same path.
Do you have any players you might watch on TV, NFL, college, or otherwise, that you pick up little things from that you can add to your game?
I think that more so qualifies under my teammates. I think my teammates are big leaders in me, and I look up to them a lot. Whether it's different position groups or different players in general. I think my teammates are my biggest inspiration.
in the last couple months, like I asked Nate earlier, is there anything that you've done individually that you feel like gives you an edge or puts you a little bit closer to where you want to be individually to help the team be better?
Yeah, I think just leading the team in general, to piggyback off what he said, just trying to be here and trying to be in the moment, and get ready for the playoffs and get ready for the regular season is the biggest thing. As captains, I think it's our job to try to lead this team. So I think the biggest thing that we've done is try to motivate the players to put in the extra work.
Nate, what is the most memorable play or moment from previous years?
I think Hoffman Estates last year was a big one for me. It was our first round of playoff game after coming off a 3-6 season, and it was pouring rain, and seeing the community there, seeing everyone there in the rain was a big moment for me.
What are your biggest challenges your team is facing this season?
Staying connected. I think that we have the talent this year. We definitely have the talent to go and win 14 games. I think the biggest thing is staying connected and keeping that team chemistry. I don't think motivation is going to be a hardship this year, but I think just staying connected and having everyone on the same page for the same goal.
And then my last question for you, Austin, do you feel like there's any, have you ever, this is completely off the wall, have you ever come to your coaches and said, hey coach, I think this is something that I could do and something that we could do that would make us succeed in this moment or this game?
Yes, I think that's the sport of football. I think that, scheming and trying different things to better off the team and better off the player individually is a big thing that we've gone through and went over, yes.
One last question.
Yeah, 7.
Oh, we got one last
One
question.
last question, Dave. So, you never answered the question, is it true? Are you an eligible contestant for the Golden Bachelor Season 2?
Yeah, I'm single. I don't really even know what the Golden Bachelor
I think you've got someone who's going to promote you for that, right?
I kind of figured that's where the question was coming from.
Who's the elderly bachelor?
Yeah.
So,
It's
all right.
a tradition.
I appreciate all of this. You guys done a great job. Good luck this year. I can't say enough about our program. You've all represented us in the highest level of, character and coaches shaping kids. So appreciate that. Thanks for taking your time today. That's all we got. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.